On the face of it, this next yarn might seem just a bit wacky, but if you look more closely, it might actually be a window into the future. Australian researchers are trying to find out just how far human interaction with robots might go. Could we, for instance, love them? And if we could, would we forgive them if, like humans, they didn't live up to our expectations? Here's Eddie Meyer.
For any adoptive parent, there is the waiting, the nervous tension, the anticipation. And it's apparently no different when you're expecting a robot.
Oh, lovely. Isn't it beautiful? Lovely, yeah.
This group is part of a unique research project at the University of Western Sydney's Marks Robotics Lab. Each person will adopt one of 10 very basic robots.
That's your baby.
The idea is that you're just giving a basic, simple robotic platform, which has just simple survival skills built into it, nothing else. And we want to see if, by doing that, would they have a sort of a social bonding with their robot.
While these started out as robotic vacuum cleaners, over the next 6 months, their owners get to change that, choosing the functions they want their charges to perform. The engineers will then add more computing power, a screen and an infrared device to detect human gestures.
So it'll work out when you're waving to it, when you're
Yes.
beckoning or
Exactly.
telling it to go away.
Sure. So something simple like saying hello, it will react to that.
Eventually, each robot will be able to answer questions from its owner. What do you think?
Pretty impressive, really.
But this isn't so much about what they can do, it's about the interaction with its owner. UWS's robotics lab is the first based not in an engineering department, but in one focused on psychology.
And we're particularly interested in how humans interact with each other. That's a basic concern, but also how humans and machines interact with each other. Because increasingly in the modern world, we're having to interact with machines. I mean, even iPhones and anything we drive nowadays, a car is a computer.
By researching that, they hope to make technology more useful, more believable, more trustworthy.
You can have people developing very sophisticated systems, but if it's not user-friendly, if it hasn't been user-tested, then it's not going to work.
How likely is it that people will bond with something that looks like a robotic vacuum cleaner?
That's exactly our point. By giving something so basic, I mean, it doesn't do much. Would people then actually bond with it? I mean, would people sort of find that attractive, and would they want to actually take it to the next level? I mean, would they want to personalize it and have it as a companion?
I think it said mama.
Novelty value aside for the project participants, there are potential benefits too. These women will use their robot in a baby research clinic.
I think it would be great to see what the robot can do and see if it can maybe mimic behaviours and to see the baby's reaction to the robot. I think that would be the fun part.
Do you think robots have a place in our lives?
Oh, definitely. I think it's the future. Automation, making things easier for people. If it can take a little bit of the load and a bit of the burden, fantastic.
Dr. Herath acknowledges our idea of robots serving us in our homes is less like this and more like this. Fully functional and virtually like us. In reality, that technology is still decades away.
Meanwhile, people still yearn for sort of a companionship in robotic creatures.
Dr. Herath admits there is a danger the adoptive parents in this study will lose interest. But should the robots become a passing fancy, he says that will be interesting too. Ultimately, the team wants to take what it learns to create commercial versions that do the simple things people want them to. That is, of course, unless the robots develop other ideas.
Just not my kind of robot, I'm afraid. Cyber love sounds a bit scratchy to me, but this is quite useful. I'm not going to fall in love with it.